at least if they could have told their issue, we could have learned about them also, rather than just only the app. Okay. Friends, I am friend of Girish and Neeraj, and first time I am coming meeting the day. I have been noticing the activities and fight of Neeraj over the past few years, and definitely as a person who is affected and who is born into legal profession, he is the greatest asset for us because he can take us, he gives justice to the whole pack, I feel. When I came here, I was curious. Yesterday when Girish sent me the photos, there was mention of Soros here. Who is Soros? He's a big businessman, but what is he doing? He's changing our minds. He's funding many organizations which are fighting against each other. He funds the women's organizations also. Maybe one day he might fund us also. He's such a cunning person, and the cunningness doesn't stop here. The cunningness is a super selective cunningness, because Soros is the person involved in the COVID genocide. I am Dr. Bhanu Prakash. I am a neurosurgeon basically. I also married late in 2016. She was also a pediatrician. She told me that I have been looking at your profile for 3 years. You are the ideal partner. So I've been praying to God that I'll marry you only. I fell for it actually. And then later, after engagement, initially before engagement, she said, my biological mother died of brain stroke. Then I felt, okay, fine, stroke can happen to anybody. Then after engagement, she says, my mother, the biological mother, she died of brain cancer. What the hell? As a neurosurgeon, I would have remembered that at least if she would have told me. That was the first lie I detected in her. Then later she said the mother who took care of her and the elderly father, they didn't marry her just because there was nobody to take care of them. So I was wondering when will they die so that I can get married. Because before marriage, before engagement, I thought she's taking care of her elderly father. So maybe she'll take care of my parents also. I was with that attitude, with that thinking. Then after engagement she says, what the hell? What if she thinks of my parents when they will die? Then I even thought of breaking my engagement. But my mother, convinced me to marry her. Ultimately got married. Within 2 months all hell broke. All her diseases cropped up like anything. She had abdominal clots before engagement. She had pulmonary, cardiac, and even all causes after marriage. And then she was like, I thought, okay, it's my karma. Let me support her as a doctor. And then I got her treatment. She went through something like first line of therapy she was taking already before engagement only. She had concealed that. And then when we sent for a PCR test, the lab says that we have a sample from March. That was in November, this sample. I was wondering, where is this doctor sample from March? I was wondering, then I realized, then she told me, oh no, I have sent one more sample. And that too she liked saying that it was after engagement. But actually, I was engaged in May. So many lies a galore sort of. So this is a pathological liar. So many would have married, I think. So, when you marry a psychotic person and that psychotic person tries to subjugate you, it is much more horrible. And then everything started like taunting, criticizing, then she insisting that I stay with her in her father's place rather than we stay with my parents and all these things. And ultimately when she had to be operated, she went on ventilator, she collapsed, and then I had to help in the resuscitation of her. Maybe now I think I shouldn't have done that. So as a doctor, it comes reflexively for us to help somebody in difficulty. So she was on ventilator and she came out. I supported her through her treatment. She went from second line AKT to third line TB drugs, then fourth line TB drugs because she was not tolerating. It's karma for her for not to tolerate the good drugs. So she went through all these complications. Imagine a woman with an abdominal TB, she can't have children most often. And that too after fourth line drugs she will never have. I felt, okay, let me adopt a child and live with her as a husband. As a friend rather, because she had lied to me so much. In between she was like if I call her up, she says, I am at my friend's place. No, I am at home, she will say. When I go to her home, she is somewhere in her friend's place. So how can you believe such a person? So these are the things which we can highlight in the perjury instances. Because when we demonstrate to the judge saying that every word is a lie, if you don't have trust with a person, I don't want to sit next to a person whom I don't trust. How can I sleep with trust? That is the irony of this world. Even the court says that you somehow have to manage, you be together, but you can't. Until unless there is a trust, there is a respect, there is a love, then only you can have a relationship. So, if even when we sacrifice everything and say that we will do our responsibility as a husband, they won't stop at it. After 6 months, she comes to my clinic and she says, "Why are you not treating me like a husband? If you can't give me love, don't think I can't get it outside." Then I felt, okay, what the fuck I am listening to? After all, I have supported her through all these her diseases, whatever she has conceived. Then I felt, okay, first night only I felt she's not a virgin, but still I put up with this. But why the hell should I put up again in future? Then she's made a big issue that I'm doubting her, character and all. So ultimately, now she's insisting that she won't give me divorce at all. I'm telling her your karma will worsen and will kill you or make you commit suicide if you don't give me divorce, because I've supported you through her life. Because as soon as I got to know that she had problems, many suggested that I should give a divorce. But I felt I don't want to go through that karma of her disease worsening or she committing suicide by depression or something. So this is how we men think, but the women think in a very different way. We are prime catchers. खड्डा खोद दिया तो एक और उसको उसमें डुबाना ही है. तो they want puppets for their life. They want people, I mean men to earn for them, for their jewelry, for their saris, for their bling and for their parties and everything. So this is the mentality of such people. So this, what is it called? Slavery psychosis, I call it, supremacy psychosis. Such women are the people who are torturing us. Maybe we should fight against them. How we should fight? The first thing is make them weak psychologically by telling all the karma and dharma. Because I believe, I am now not a believer of religion or God. Truth is my religion, nature is my God, and law of nature is karma, I believe. You can't put a seed of neem and get mangoes out of it. So ultimately, when we make them feel like that, then they will take a step back. Because initially, he even filed a FIR. We went to the police station, but when I went to and met the inspector and even the DYSP, they realized that I am truthful and she is the one who is a liar. So when truth is on our side, when we be truthful and be vocal about it, we should not hide anything. Sometimes we hide because of our own prestige, or we want to help somebody, or we want to not bring up such issues, be it sex, be it relationship, be it the emotional torture what they give. You should be very, what I would suggest is, write a note of your experience, write a book. Then you will be able to put everything in words, even in the court or even in the police stations. And one thing, whatever sections they put, not in this dowry harassment or anything, in some other case, when the police station calls you for an inquiry, never sign anything. Even if they accuse you with all sections, what all horrible sections, you say all these are not true, these are lies created by a bad advocate, so I won't sign it. This is one thing which will save you from police detention. They can't detain you more than the night. They can take you, they will keep you for that night for inquiry, but at next day morning they have to produce you to the magistrate for detention. So that is how, because there are many women who have political influences and they put pressure on the police inspector, and there are many women who have slept with the police inspectors, slept with the judges, slept with the advocates to get favorable judgments also. So such horrible things are there. So let us be truthful, let us fight it out in that. And coming to some of the things, when I have observed here, all are, except maybe this guy is a light-eyed one, everybody else is dark-eyed, brown or black iris. There is a distinction because Soros is the bastard who is part of the COVID mafia, who is killing only black-eyed African and African hybrid, Dravidians are African hybrids. So the COVID virus and the injection, both are targeting Africans and African hybrids, the Dravidians in India and across the world. Even in Israel, all the young men who are dying after gym or football or basketball are all black-eyed persons. Imagine. That is the genetic selectivity of this virus and injection. So I am fighting for that also. As a doctor, I am fighting against the COVID injections. And definitely don't take any more injections, because the first thing that will cause is make you sterile, or second thing would be make you impotent, so that we can't marry another one, or we can't have another child. So third thing is this same Soros guy is related to Fori Nero, is a cousin of Fori Nero, the wife of I think Jawaharlal's cousin, MK Nehru, I think. And Congress is equally involved in this COVID mafia. BJP is also involved, JDS, and even Aam Aadmi Party also, because all those parties in power are equally involved. And the same mafia created HIV virus. From a virus which infects monkeys and creates immunodeficiency in that virus, it's called simian T-cell lymphotrophic virus. They converted it to infect humans and called it human T-cell lymphotrophic virus. But HTLV would make everybody think about HTLV and know the origin, so they changed the name to HIV. So HIV did not kill only the Africans. They left it in Africa so to kill the Africans, but it killed even Europeans. So that's why they did selective research, what is called gain of function research, and it was headed by Anthony Fauci, who was the editor for, he was the NHS, I mean, the National Health Director in US. So that bastard, they funded the research in this place, and that is how they, so that is how they selectively created SARS, MERS, H1N1, and now COVID. So this is an international mafia, and in the same time they created the EVMs to destroy the democracies in every country. And EVMs were put only in Asia, Africa, and South America, where there were no Europeans. US and North America, Europe and Australia didn't have EVMs. Now they have got the Dominion system in US, where Trump set up Biden won because of it. So this is the supremacy psychosis of few Roman families. 300 families want to make this world their property, with 50 crore of blue-eyed European human slaves. And they have done it. They have written a book called Great Reset by Klaus Schwab, and they have erected Georgia Guidestones and done a human sacrifice on it. So they are so hard bent on doing it. And now that we are not taking injections, they are putting that in spinach, the biotechnology spinach, BT, brinjal or there, like that. So don't eat spinach in future. Grow your own spinach if you want. So, and definitely this is the beginning of the fight. Until unless we want our rights to become laws, we need to remove this EVMs and establish true what is called democracy. I have Kannada pamphlets in detail because time is running out. So definitely let us all fight it together. My court is still in my cross-examination, and next cross-examination I am going to blurt it out everything. Like I have written already, I have sent it to all the police stations. I have sent it to, so this is the story, our story of Agani, and our story. It's like she's raping me every day. She's raping me. So this is the mental rape we are fighting against. So let us, and I recently heard a podcast which says that men are being tortured by these marital laws and others, so that they become emotionally impotent and not fight against the social evils. So literally, we are the men who will let us fight win our own battles, and then win the bigger battles across the world to create a better world, to create a equal world. Actually, equal world is when men get equal rights for that. Because women are actually the cunning component which are silent in the house and enjoying all the benefits, and actually the supremacy psychosis starts with the women. Thank you.